Welcome to CDT Podcast, episode Infinity. As always, I forgot the fucking episode number, but that does not matter. Today, we're here to update y'all on some real subjects, including the Julian Assange trial, update you on the Julian Assange trial, the press freedom on trial, quote unquote. That's the present theme going on. Update you on the Georgia runoff election, which has a lot to do with the political atmosphere also. I want to update you on a couple of things dealing with the Nancy Pelosi shit that's going on and a whole bunch of political things that have been shooken up overall. And the reason I'm open to bringing a lot of this information to you guys right now, I study a lot of things, and of course we all study a lot of things, but astrology and astronomy and the energy that you get from the stars and how it affects us as a human race overall, that radiation is going to impact you overall. So the way that we reflect on this time, when we look back on it, it's going to be seen as a time of big change of government and a time of big change of societal norms and culture, and a big change of things like they had an industrial revolution. You can also say there's going to be a new industrial revolution, not an industrial revolution, but the revolution that everybody is craving for in reality. When they say, oh yeah, we need to have a revolution, we need change in the society, it is believed that in many forms of thought, especially philosophy, that there's four main things that uphold your reality in which you grow up in, or in the culture that you live in, basically. One of those things is government. The other one is, sometimes government and spirituality are one thing, but sometimes it's different. So we're just going to make that one thing here. So you have government as spirituality, something to govern your mentality. You have natural environment, which is basically like your resources and shit like that, the access that your culture and the people around you have to resources. You have expected lifespan. Basically, you could tell basically by the people who grow up around you and how they live their life, and then how early or how late they die. Based off of that tells you a lot growing up in the world, especially where you had a way smaller population, is what we were told in history. So I think, is that all for it? If not, then you can easily go off of your own opinion. But with that being said, the government right now is one of those things that we're approaching as a group of people. The government / spirituality is one of the things that we're approaching as a group of people, as to be something that, if we were to change it and take control of it, as not just to let a few group of people control so many things and regulate so many things and be responsible for so many things. And then, not on top of that, we live in a society where, of course, we want to protect our politicians and leaders, but a lot of these people are not being seen as leaders anymore. So why are they being protected, and why do we have the responsibility of using our tax dollars to protect the people who don't even really do their job, that actually do the opposite of their job? So it's kind of like an subversion. But with that being said, it's certain stories that we're seeing develop over time that are going to be the pinnacle for when people look back at this time. They'll actually be able to look at these certain pinnacles, like these certain points, these certain decisions that are made in the material realm, which we can all be able to see. At this very moment in time, we actually have that. We have that setting where everybody can see deception, and everybody can see a way to make up for it, and everybody can see different responses to different variables and different decisions, basically, that people are making, especially people who are in positions of power. Why do we trust these people? And who said a party is more wise than a church? And who said the church is more wise than just a group of people who just want to come together and fuck or some shit like that? That's up to you to decide, and it's all based off of different periods of time, which people and different spiritualities and governments would agree on different subjects. But at this period of time, there there is the ability for everybody to see what's going on, but not necessarily know what the actual situation is, just because seeing is not necessarily knowing, but knowing is definitely seeing. So it's time to know shit. You feel me? If you could piece these stories together, that is how your spirit and your mind can come together and give you actual solutions and resolutions to the problems that you face in your everyday life. And when we think about blaming, see, as soul guys, we don't blame. You feel me? There's no such thing as blaming or praise, but we do fuck with people and we do give people. You feel me? It's a natural energy that you get. It's not a word. And with that being said, it don't last long. So don't expect that shit to last long, because in the soul culture and a lot of them, like ancient cultures, miracles happen every day, my G. My XXX. But all I gotta say is that's just how it is. So we're facing this shit right now. Okay, let me share the screen. Share the screen. Yes. Wait, where's that? Where I'm at? Share both of them at the same time, my G. Oh, you can't do that? I don't know. Either way, my hope is sharing it. That happens every time, y'all. My bad. Wait, is this shit freezing? It's buffering? So I don't know what the freak just happened. My computer just glitched out. But like I said, I'm about to share the screen and get right back into it. They can't stop it. So yeah, we good on this one. Okay, finally. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this. Since it started off with this anyway. I'm in the state of Georgia. You feel me? I don't want to say what part, but we are in Georgia. Atlanta. Hey. Anyway, with that being said, I've been abused by advertisements. Abused by advertisements. The last mother trucking, lucking, tucking 3 to 4 weeks, bro. I'm talking about Christmas. Usually, you know how you have the Christmas advertisements. I don't really watch TV and stuff no more, but instead of there being Christmas advertisements, all I see is John Assoff and Mother Trucking, Raphael Warnock, Kelly Loeffler, and motherfucking David Perdue. Sonny Perdue, I don't know how the fuck they related. Somehow I know he fucking with Sonny Perdue somehow, nigga. But I'm gonna figure it out. Let me figure that shit out right now. Let me see how Sonny Perdue is related to. How is Sonny Perdue related? Hey, I know I ain't the only person who thought it. Google got it up here. Okay. Thank you, fucking Google. Is Sonny Perdue affiliated with Purdue Chicken? Let's see. Purdue is not related to the family who owns Purdue family. Crazy ass me. I don't know why I thought that was how it worked. Sonny Purdue's ties to his family business. Sonny Perdue and David Perdue. Is Sonny Perdue related to David Perdue? I know that's so off subject, but we gotta figure this out. If you're from Atlanta, you really we I know you if you're from Georgia, if you've been living in Georgia for a while, you probably either thought this, you probably either thought this before or you know, let's see. Sonny Perdue's ties to his family business. Since joining Trump administration, Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue's complicated network of ties to Georgia-based entities, including his family's company, Purdue Partners. Oh, Purdue Partners has nothing to do with the Purdue chicken shit, huh? Y'all slick. Has raised questions about potential conflicts of interest as well as his working relationship with his cousin. Oh, they cousins. Okay, that's cool. Back to the story though. So you got these two motherfuckers on some real serious shit. This shit serious as freak, right? Serious. Looking for something serious. If you look for a serious relationship, this is where it's at. So I'm about to play the video because you need to know something. Why is there even a runoff election in the fucking first place, bro? We had the elections back in November, right? But I know I ain't the only person who thought this because it's like, first of all, when you're getting abused by advertisements, you think stuff like this, abused, right? And with that being said, this is fair use. So the video I'm about to play is all for news, entertainment, comical, or fucking music. I mean, you feel me? Good time purposes. Let's go. Let's see what they're gonna say.
In the first place, I'm not sure, like, really where it comes from. No idea. We have to determine who the actual.
Ask questions, everybody. What is a runoff election? Why is there a runoff election? Don't try talking about, oh yeah, there's the election is illegal, election illegal. Okay, let's see how they got to this shit because state laws are different from federal laws.
Even having a runoff goes back to the 1960s during the civil rights movement. NBC's Priscilla Thompson now on the controversial history of the state's runoff law.
For more than 50 years, Georgia has used runoff elections to decide races from members of the state legislature to who sits in the governor's mansion. But do people really know why the runoff system was established in the first place? I'm not sure, like, really where it comes from. No idea. We have to determine who the actual winner is, with a clear majority. But some experts say that wasn't the original intent of the law.
After the Civil War,
That's not
blacks were a major part of the Southern electorate. Once Reconstruction and military occupation of the South ended, white Southerners spent the rest of the 19th century squeezing blacks out of the electorate.
White Southerners developed a county unit system to give less populated, but primarily white, rural parts of the state more political power, meanwhile disenfranchising black voters. In 1962, the Supreme Court said the system violated the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution.
At that point, many Southern states, including Georgia, looked for other devices, and the runoff system was one of those devices.
Enter Denmark Groover. Groover, a member of Georgia's House of Representatives, fell out of power, and he blamed, quote, Negro block voting for his loss, according to a report by the U.S. Department of the Interior. A vocal segregationist, Groover was determined to stop Black Georgians growing political power.
Groover explicitly talked about how even if the white vote were divided in the first election and a black made the runoff, whites could come together as a majority to win in the runoff.
In 1964,
they ain't got to worry about that no more.
System became law in Georgia.
They don't try to divide us. And the only time we come together is for the fucking Democrats if they make us, if they do a whole bunch of rituals and if they do a whole bunch of rituals and routines that they taught you how to do in school, and then the president of your class elected, quote unquote. Come on now. They've been doing these rituals and routines and all this weird shit. And then you're supposed to just go along with it because it's supposed to be fun. But it's not fun anymore. It's never been fun, really. It's really been supposed to have been serious the whole time, but it's a game to people who already have their living interests satisfied. It's a game to them.
senior offices in Georgia, meaning governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, ever. So apparently it worked.
Not all runoff systems are rooted in racism, but if you look at the 7 states that hold traditional runoff elections, if nobody gets a majority, all of those states are in the South. As for Georgia, in a year marked by widespread protests and demands for racial and social
They
justice,
want to show this part. That's how they do that. That's how they get their paid,
the
though.
state's runoff system remains a glaring reminder of the systemic racism ingrained in the fabric of America, lingering in one of the values we hold most dear, democracy. And Chef, I should point out, in the 1990s, the Department of Justice actually sued the state of Georgia. The Assistant Attorney General said that the runoff system had a demonstrably chilling effect on the ability of Blacks to become candidates for public office. He went on to call the runoff system a, quote, electoral steroid for white candidates. Now, the courts ultimately decided that there wasn't sufficient proof of that, and there hasn't been a major challenge to the runoff system here since. Chef?
It's crazy though, because with that being said, that's that fair use, man. And with that being said, crazy that they saying that, because Raphael, I mean, if you look at the numbers, let me pull it up right quick. Raphael Warnock. I think Raphael Warnock and Kelly Loeffler. Oh no, yeah, let's see. Because I don't want the runoff. I want the original. Let's see if we can find the original. Regular election, yeah. Freak. Let's see. The special election, regular election. Before runoff. Because in order for them to get the runoff like they explained, it has to be a majority. Let's see. Let's see. They got live shit going right now because they're not gonna tell me. So I'm, as you can see, I'm like, they're literally flushing as much fucking money and everything that they could possibly do to influence people at this point in time at this one state. So you're now witnessing, if you're living in the state of Georgia, or if you know somebody living in the state of Georgia, you can now see or witness what it's like to have like one state or landmass have the influence of the propaganda machine known as the mainstream media focused on one landmass. That's the whole propaganda scheme that they have for the whole America, and sometimes that they have plugged in throughout these different countries that they've invaded throughout the world. Yeah, all that's concentrated in the state of Georgia now. So you can tell just by me typing this in right now, because I mean, of course, it's people are waiting for the results. It's a very important, serious thing, as if it makes a difference as if each one of these, because nothing is gonna fucking change, basically. Nothing is gonna fucking change. And if it fucking changes, it's gonna be because of you, your auntie, your motherfucking girlfriend, sister, your motherfucking everything that your grandma, your granddad, your motherfucking brother, your motherfucking uncle, your motherfucking stepsister, your god aunt, your god mom, all these people, man. That's the only people who gonna change this shit. Kelly Loeffler, a rich bitch, and Raphael Warnock, a sworn in secret society member. Not only that, but a proven fucking reverend, which you can't mix the church and the state at the same time, because that's going against fucking, come on, bro. Do y'all not understand the principles that our ancestors built this country on, even in that were stolen and then promoted by the people who stole it? y'all still got to understand and uphold these, because no matter what, the people who uphold these will survive, and the people who do not will not survive. They did not create this whole shit. They did not create this shit overnight, and it won't just happen. And nothing happens overnight. Speaking of shit happening overnight, what did happen overnight was people who were loyal to the Democratic Party, and what they call the progressive movement in the Democratic Party, which is ridiculous. Trying to call the oldest institution probably in America progressive somehow is insane. The most progressive they've ever been is when they had to be, and you're not nowhere as demanding. So with that being said, Representative Mike Sherrill was one of the only 5 Democrats, which was a disappointing to a lot of people, because there's the force to vote thing going on the internet right now. People are fucking going crazy over this shit because it's an actually good point. You get what I'm saying? Nobody can really object to this point. And I'll let somebody who come on who can explain it a little bit better than me. But at the end of the day, all I really want to get to is how crazy these people are, who actually are being elected into these places of seat and power. And if they're not crazy before they get in there, then they turn crazy. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I know what's going on. You know what's going on. But we had to, we have to assume. We don't have to assume because they've already told them themselves many times. But with that being said,
the crazy part about the squad, the fraud squad. Here's the crazy part. We're just asking them to do what they were advocating for on December 2nd.
Exactly.
On December 2nd, Ocasio-Cortez tweeted out, the thing that critics of activists don't get is that they tried playing the polite language policy game, and all it did was make them easier to ignore. She said that. So I stopped playing the polite language policy game, and guess what? They couldn't ignore me. It wasn't until they made folks uncomfortable that there was traction to do anything, even if it wasn't their full demands. That's on December 2nd of last year. December 2nd, that's just a month ago, she said this. The thing that critics of activists don't get, so she's a critic of me right now. She's a critic of my activism, and I'm going to show you, is that they tried playing the polite language policy game, and all it did was make them easier to ignore. It wasn't until they made folks uncomfortable that there was any traction to do anything, even if it wasn't their full demands. That's what we just did. We made her uncomfortable and the squad. They had to address us. They went to the Intercept. They did a softball interview. She went online. Justin Jackson cleaned her clock. Justin Jackson, a better journalist than Jeremy Scahill at the Intercept. Justin Jackson cleaned her clock. We made them so uncomfortable. Well, she also tweeted out on December 2nd, the whole point of protesting is to make people uncomfortable. Activists take that discomfort with the status quo and advocate for concrete policy changes. Popular support often starts small and grows. To folks who complain protest demands make others uncomfortable, that's the point. So if you're telling me to be nicer to the squad, fuck you.
Damn!
Fuck off. Because you're a child. That's wrong. That is not how politics works. And you know it. You know it. Nobody thinks you should be nicer to politicians to get them to do what you want. No one thinks that. But people are saying that. That's nuts. The whole point of protesting is to make people uncomfortable. Activists take that discomfort with the status quo and advocate for concrete policy changes. Popular support often starts small and grows. To folks who complain protest demands make others uncomfortable, that's the point.
Okay.
And here she is coming at me. She's right at me. She says, and to be 100% honest, which is a sure sign what's coming next is a lie. Whenever someone said, and to be 100% honest, why do you have to say that? because you're lying.
Holly says,
And she also went out of her way to put an emoji in there, which is an extra sign that she's lying. Now, some people give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You don't give a politician the benefit of the doubt when it's clear they're lying and they're going against their own campaign promises. And if you continue to give them the benefit of the doubt, you're failing as a journalist. That's a fail. You get journalism 101. Don't give politicians the benefit of the doubt, especially as they got caught lying and gaslighting. How about some criticism of all her lies and gaslighting? Why are you pretending like that? AOC she just doesn't know what's going on. They're just making honest mistakes. They're not making honest mistakes.
That's impossible.
This is them coordinated, not coordinating. On purpose, not having a strategy. On purpose. They didn't get anything in a negotiation, or else they would have fucking told you.
Really, Jimmy?
So here she is coming at me, and this is egregious. She says, and to be 100% honest, it was hard during this to be targeted and marred as some sellout enemy of the people over a late tactical disagreement over one floor vote. So you see, she's trying to diminish it, but what she's doing is admitting is, hey, Jimmy Dore, my strategy of making us uncomfortable and stop playing the polite game worked on me.
Being forced to be a floor vote.
It was hard on her. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be hard on her. It's supposed to be. Also a bummer to see figures excuse comments like F her and F anyone who protects her. That's not tone, that's violence. Okay, when you were screaming motherfucker in a park at Donald Trump and getting people to say, you thought that was okay? I said, stunning here, AOC explicitly telling us to stop being polite, but when activists take her advice and make our elected servants uncomfortable, she falsely accuses us of committing violence against her. FYI, you are not the victim. People without healthcare are the victim. You know how I know she's making that up, that she's offended by swear words and all that stuff? And you can see what she's doing. It's all over this. This is all dishonest. So if you do a story about her and what happened, you should tell everybody how dishonest she's been for 2 weeks straight. And if you don't, you're running cover for her. And I see it. How do you not report all the lies she told Justin Jackson? How do you not report this?
They talking about it's not the right time.
How do you not report that she's telling people who are taking her advice? She's now underhandedly, in the most smarmy, underhanded way, trying to get them accused of doing violence. And Ben Spiegelman called her out on that. Ocasio-Cortez jabs GOP's full outrage over Congresswoman's profane impeachment mark. So they're saying, impeach the motherfucker, Donald Trump, and the GOP pretended to be outraged, and AOC called them out. Nobody gets offended by swear words. She said, well, this and that. But now she is. And now she says this: we cannot feign ignorance at the consequences of broadcasting volatile statements to a wide audience.
That's the worst.
It is not just words. When it's widely known, this translates to threats and acts.
Turn the light on.
Telling her to go fuck off.
Anytime.
It's not just words.
They disappear
Do you see
just
this?
like my black. Now. Wow.
Is this Debbie Wasserman Schultz writing this, or is this a progressive who wanted to make everyone uncomfortable? Is this someone who said to drop the polite policy language and make people uncomfortable? No, that's not the same person.
No,
that was a month ago. This is from frickin' yesterday. That's just a month ago. She wrote those two things. She wrote, you got to fucking make people uncomfortable. You got to stop talking politely. A month later, she says, we cannot feign ignorance at the consequences of broadcasting volatile statements. Holy shit. When you yell F protecting her about a person under known physical threat, what message? Everyone knows when I said stop protecting her, I mean politically. Stop running cover for her, and everyone knows that. And now she's doing, this is exactly what politicians do. She's revealing that she's a con artist. And maybe it'll take other people a year to figure this out. Like it took them that long with Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the biggest con artist we ever had. This is a con artist. That's a con. By the way, she deleted that tweet.
Oh, why would that be?
By the way, she deleted that tweet.
See, I ain't know that. This right here is me live reacting to this shit.
She deleted that tweet.
That shit is crazy.
So somebody in her office was like, you better cut this shit out. Even Ben Spielberg went on Jimmy Dore's show and said that's crazy. If you vote for Nancy, there is no damage control that will save your name after that. I think you know that
Fuck
part,
you,
and
man.
you're doing everything
That's all
you
it's
can
about,
to
really.
avoid it, while still stabbing the rest of us in the back. You must know that won't work. Only one thing will: no vote. That's Rick Overton. I'll read it again because it's amazing. If you vote for Nancy, there is no damage control that will save your name after that. I think you know that part, and you're doing everything you can to avoid it, while still stabbing the rest of us in the back. You must know that won't work. Only one thing will: no vote. So now, after AOC said I voted for her because of $15 minimum wage, that was her first thing, and then it was because they're getting committee assignments, and then she got kicked off her committee, and a blue dog got it, and then she said it was for PAYGO, and then it's all these different ridiculous reasons, none of them real. And then after she voted for Nancy Pelosi, here's what she actually said why she did it. She said, in a time when the Republican Party is attempting an electoral coup and trying to overturn the results of our election, this is not just about being united as a party. It's about
Y'all
being
stole
united
that
as
shit
people that
anyway.
basic respect for the
Give it
rule
up.
of law. She went from
Well,
telling you to
anybody
stop
gotta
using
steal it
polite
either
language
way.
and make
In
people
order to get there, you
uncomfortable
gotta steal it.
to telling you to respect the
It's a
rule of law.
fucking
She went from
hoax.
MLK to Nixon in 30 days.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's right wing talk. You got to first of all, she's still
That shit
using
put
Trump.
me to sleep.
The whole point was we got to
Who the
elect
fuck
Joe
talk
Biden
like
and we
that?
can move him left.
Damn, she put me
She's
to
saying,
sleep.
I'm still doing horrible shit because of Donald Trump. Because of Donald Trump. I still have to vote for Nancy. So now, after everything she told Justin Jackson, everything she told Jeremy Scahill, who doesn't know how to ask a follow-up question, after all of that, after everything, the PAYGO, all the bullshit interference run by Ryan Grimm from The Intercept, it's a real sweet deal they have over at The Intercept. It's a real nice grift. Even after all that garbage, the real reason why she voted for her was because of Trump.
She's scared of Trump.
And the rule of law.
Wow.
Hey, you guys do remember that pushing for a House vote on Medicare for All was also AOC's position less than a year ago, right? You want to see it?
Stupid.
What the Bronxingtons needs is Medicare for all. We can do it now. It takes political courage. Start bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party. That is our job. It's great that
Hold on.
Brought
AOC.
the
Wait.
ruckus.
AOC. Hold on. Hey, be real, AO. AO. Be real. Hey, it's just me and you, AOC. You work for the CIA. You work for the CIA. You crazy, man. Hey. Hey.
And she called it violence.
It's great that everyone thinks these issues are important. We need to make them urgent. This country has only ever changed for the better by groups of people that were willing to put everything on the line for a better future.
She's not even willing to withhold her vote from Nancy Pelosi. Willing to put everything on the line. She didn't put nothing on the line.
You got man like
We got the
Jimmy
civil rights movement, the
still
women's rights movement.
had hope
That's how
for
we got the
the
labor
Democratic Party.
movement,
And now they
queer
see through it,
rights
bro. How
and
could you
marriage
not?
equality. It didn't happen by people playing it safe.
How
We
could
to
you
give
have
it all
hope
we
for
got.
either one of these
Don't
parties?
people realize that the most powerful position you can be in is when you are not materially attached to a position of power? If you're a one-term Congress member, so what? You can make 10 years worth of change in one term if you're not afraid.
They just sit right there shaking their head and
Democratic
shit.
Party
Like,
does not do more unless it is pushed. So
Okay.
we need to push them. And they don't like it. I think I annoy them, but but that is our job. That's our job. All of Washington is not incentivized.
on the whole, not incentivized to work in actually expediting
Damn, why should
guaranteed healthcare in the United States. Now, does that mean it's not going to happen? Absolutely not.
Damn.
Because mass movement organizing can force it to happen. Force it to happen.
What
Do not
the
trust
goddamn
any
sleepy
political party to automatically work in your interest.
I call on everybody in independent media to join this mission.
Force it to happen.
Force the Congress to show which side are they really on. No vote for Nancy Pelosi unless Medicare for All is put on the House floor for a vote.
Start bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party.
On the eve of the 117th Congress, I want to thank the Bronx and Queens for entrusting me with the sacred responsibility of advancing a better world in the House, and recognize the relentless work and dedication of the organizers who made this day happen. Remember, you are the answer. No, you are the answer.
What do you mean?
We elected you.
You.
I can't vote for Nancy Pelosi. I can't withhold my vote. I can't make a demand on Nancy Pelosi. You can. What kind of claptrap is that? And this is what her constituents said. Please force the vote. You've done such a great job fighting for us, and I know you will continue to do so, but this is extremely important tomorrow. Please force the vote. She's not doing it. She didn't do it. Force the vote. Take action. Don't give us lip service. It's disheartening for the people when they put a lot of work and energy into elevating someone from their own ranks. Someone who claims to be okay with being a one-termer who then loses her fight and won't. Force the vote. You're better than this, AOC.
Is she really, though? That's what people don't.
We're
people
the
don't
answer?
understand.
Great.
They're
Because we're
better.
outside your office right now demanding.
They're
you
better
force
than
the
that.
vote.
She's not.
We elected you, and now you are the answer. We can't get the things we desperately need, like Medicare for all, if you don't do what we elected you to do. Fight hard, no matter what. If you vote for Nancy Pelosi and not even demand anything for that vote, you are not the answer, and you betrayed the people. They betrayed us. The Justice Democrats, the squad, they betrayed us. Does the Bronx have Medicare for all? Please force the vote. The squad can't do this. There are only 4 people. The squad can't do this. There are only 6 people. The squad can't do this. There are only 12 people. The squad can't do this. There are only 30 people. The excuse will always be the same, and people will keep dying.
Don't do it.
The only reason anything happened was because I created a spectacle. I did exactly what AOC said. Stop speaking polite and start making people uncomfortable. Cause a ruckus. We caused a ruckus, and AOC said we were committing violence. Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks attacked us, and the Intercept ran interference for them. So it's a great clarifying moment on the left, isn't it? Oh, boy. Great clarifying moment. Now you know, voting for Democrats inside a counter-revolutionary pro-war corporate party is a fool's errand, and it's a failed experiment. Time for a people's party. Hey, everybody, this is...
Y'all get that shit together over there in America. Wow. So she's been in the house since 1987. She's one of these people who has been in that bitch a long ass time and somehow think they can make that shit different when they haven't so far. And it's actually gotten very worse as a result. So yeah, she won in the general election in on November 3rd, 2020. She is the first and only woman to serve as Speaker of the House. First and only woman to serve as Speaker of the House. I wonder why. Probably because she's been in that bitch since 1937. And her term don't end this time until 2023. Her net worth is $87 million. That's like her career path. In 1962, Nancy Pelosi graduated from the Trinity College with a bachelor. Then she became a chair at California State Democratic Party. Huh? The fuck? That's a bit late. Anyway, in 1981, she did that. And then she became the finance chairman of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. And then in 1987, she became the U.S. representative for from California's 5th Congressional District. Then in 1993, she became the United States representative from California's 8th Congressional District. Then in 2013, she became U.S. representative from California's 12th Congressional District. Let's see what she done did so far. What type of shit she done passed. Passing shit. Okay. That's what's up. Last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I don't want to hold y'all up for too long. I already did a little bit of video before I forgot because it glitched. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for sticking around CDC podcast. It's the perfect time, even though it's way too late in the video because I'm pretty sure they would suggest it that I did the like, share, and subscribe shit way earlier. But either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, thank you for paying attention this long because this is important for everybody. So next we got to talk about Julian Assange and update you on what just happened with him. Quick update. Then we can get out of here. Julian Assange, as you know, he's been on trial. I think it's about a year and some time now for crimes that he didn't do anything. If anything, you could say he helped free people around the world. And not only that, he's just a journalist. And so with that being said, the common theme, like I said earlier in the video, is that people see it as free journalism being pretty much attack on journalism, and it's pretty much illegal. And they of course they get away with stuff like this every time. When I say they, you could talk about the oligarchs of the United Kingdom giving in to the corporate interest of the United States of America, tied into the fucking world connections that they have and bully around the world. With that being said, they're using their allies in Australia and United Kingdom, and they're trying to keep this man under just because he exposed crimes that was going on in the United States. Now, it was thought about some time. I had did an earlier video that I had to delete because they were making it seem like Trump might have pardoned him. And the whole time I knew that he wouldn't because he's pretty much a part of it. He's a part of it. He's a part of the puzzle. And with that being said, I had to delete the video, and I just want to update y'all to let y'all know that, you know, his trial took place, if I'm not mistaken, on January 4th, 2021. And they came up with a verdict, and they decided to do what they do. So once again, okay, never mind. I'm gonna just let you watch the video, then explain it afterwards.
Still upholding all of the lies, the smears, the verdict is still upholding all of the lies, the smears, the accusations, the fabrications that have been put forward by the United States. Judge Varetzer, we're all happy that she's blocked Julian Assange's extradition to the U.S., but she's blocked it only on the grounds of his health because of the high suicide risk if he's placed in a federal supermax. But she threw out everything else put forward by the defense. She parroted everything the US prosecution said. I was there, I was covering the hearing, and she spent so much time agreeing with the prosecution, and I was certain she's going to rule in favor of extradition. She says Assange conspired to crack a password with Chelsea Manning. Again, completely false. The judge said that a US court would guarantee Assange's right to due process and free speech rights. How? The jury is made up of people who work in the intelligence community. They hate Assange. The US spied on him and his lawyers in the Ecuadorian embassy, violating his legal privilege. They took all of his personal effects. That's tainted evidence. That has nothing to do with a fair trial. And his First Amendment rights? Mike Pompeo explicitly said Julian Assange does not have any First Amendment freedoms. And not only that, they're going to argue this in court. She doesn't care. The judge wouldn't even take into consideration the fact that UC Global spied on Assange on behalf of the US. She rejected the political nature of the trial completely. This is absurd. The very nature of the publications is political. They're going after Julian Assange because he embarrassed them and exposed them for their war crimes. It's nothing but political. And so Baretsa, she's just been parroting everything the prosecution's been saying. This is so bad, man. I mean, if Julian Assange was in perfect health, you're going to extradite him? No, this is unacceptable. This guy's an Australian citizen in the United Kingdom. He does not owe the United States jack. Again, we're all happy that she ruled against extradition, but this decision still leaves the door wide open for future journalists to be prosecuted and for the US to just randomly persecute people anywhere in the world who challenge US hegemony. In any case, man, look, Julian, he has his bail hearing on Wednesday the 6th. Let's hope that he walks free. I've been accredited to cover the hearing, so follow me. I'll have updates for you live.
With that being said, man, you heard my boy Richard. My boy Richard said follow him. I already follow him on pretty much every platform he's on. Just keep myself updated on the Julian Assange thing. If you want to keep yourself updated, he's a pretty good source on the thing. He's obviously an independent journalist. So it's very genuine. With that being said, he once again, I'm gonna repeat what he just said, but I'm gonna give him my own opinion. With that being said, his thing was blocked, but this whole thing was possibly a setup for exactly what Richard explained at the end of it. Not to say that Julian Assange wasn't being tortured all this time and all this other shit, because for all I know, he wasn't, but he might have been. I mean, with that being said, why am I saying that? I'm saying that Julian Assange has been tortured by being forced to live inside of a jail cell. But beyond that, for all we know, that could have been purposeful for the system itself, beyond just making him a political prisoner. It could have just been to set an example to, like you said, moving forward, that if anybody does anything to that scale again, or if anybody outside of this person gets away with it, like kind of like some Jesus Christ, or you're special, only you can be certified to do this because only you know how to do this type shit. And that's the type of energy that's being given out with the Julian Assange thing. And I know on a world scale, that's very possible. It's a very possible storyline. But for all I know, right now, I trust Julian Assange, and you feel me. I've used him as a source many times before in the past, and I still to this day go to find some of his interviews and see that, you feel me, he's a genuine guy. He's a cool guy. So he shouldn't be in jail. And with that being said, nobody, in my opinion, should be in prison. There's alternate ways to handle shit. That's either faster punishment or even no punishment at all, or even like half of these laws have to be like repealed or reformed. I mean, and with that being said, we got to stay woke. Face ass. That was a joke. Just to make sure y'all still there. So I'm done with this right here. I'm done screen sharing. Stop share. With that being said, we're learning a wise lesson at this point in time in our lives. We all have something to learn from this time. Like I said, you have four main pinnacles, four main pillars, and four main steps, four main legs that a system or society is mostly controlled by. These different variables can be different things, but with that being said, one of them is mostly how you govern the person's spirit, mind, and body. And we already know how we do it here in America. It's supposed to be something fair, free, and equal. But that's just the propaganda that's been put out there. And whoever, like the people who are supposed to be upholding that, you and I, the light in this world, the real light in this world, we are being tested to see if we actually want that power, or do we want to let a few people keep convincing us that we are not worthy of controlling our own destinies, making our own decisions, and understanding the world in a more defined and concrete way without their input, or even working with them and being able to work with them and make sure that they're telling the truth and being honest. Because that's what it comes back to. We just need honesty in this age. As long as you give me honesty, then I can make an informed decision that I need to. But if you're lying and manipulating the whole time, you're basically confusing people that are not me. Who You're confusing people who are not me, and the people in person watching this right now, you, who will get manipulated. And then people like me, I am forced to decipher and savage off of a little bit of truth that you might put inside of something. With that being said, I paint the picture together and piece it together anyway. It might not be able to be pieced together with words, but when it is, that's their ass. For every single body out there who can, every single journalist, every single channeler, every single body who has a platform out there, every single podcaster, every single blogger, every single person who actually cares about how the outcome of their life is beyond just their individual self. And they see that the influences that other people have over other people, and how that can impact their lives potentially. And with that being said, make wiser decisions so that everybody has the amount of time that they need to actually decipher the truth, instead of just chasing around paper and shit like that. Paper that was illegally printed in the first fucking place. So we out of here. Soldier CGT podcast. I appreciate y'all attention. Much love and appreciation. Happy fake New Year's and this mother trucker lucka cucka lucka. And y'all be good. Y'all keep y'all spirits up. Fuck social media all 2021. We are we destroying that shit. Matter of fact, y'all look out for that. Next episode is going to be exactly that. I already have a documentary out on my previous channel, breaking down the social media thing, but I don't know if the quality is as well as I can make it as I can today. So I'm gonna redo the whole thing in a more detailed way, in a more quality way. GG, peace.